Yeah, hey, so I'm Alexander Lawrence. I am field CISO here at Sysdig, and I was asked to talk a little bit about the challenges people are facing in the cloud world, in the cloud environment. I think the best way to kind of think about this is in the traditional world of infrastructure, we had what looked kind of like a castle surrounded by a moat, had a drawbridge. We knew all the defined ingress and egress points. Made it pretty easy to deal with security when we knew kind of all of our entry points. When we think about the cloud, it's much more like a carnival, right? Everybody's involved. There's all sorts of folks who are trying to do their own thing, get their jobs done. And that means you have many points you have to be able to consider and defend and deal with and do access around and all that type of stuff. It just becomes significantly more complex to deal with all the different security iterations therein. And so that's what a lot of the different folks around here are trying to help solve today in different ways, is how do you deal with that sprawl of the cloud and security therein. And so as we talk about the cloud stuff, probably one of the biggest areas of pain that I see most customers talking about, a lot of folks I deal with are trying to solve, is how do I deal with things like stolen credentials, or how do I deal with exposed access keys or AIM roles, things like that. And it's a really tricky problem to deal with, because again, if we think about that cloud analogy, you typically had fairly locked down accounts, you had fairly specific permissions to different assets. In the cloud, the way roles work, the way assumption happens, the way you get users accessing different resources, that area of exposure can be quite significant. So that's where you end up getting these terms like zero trust and limiting the blast radius and all these other fun things. And it really is just all about how do I deal with the problem of user accounts being breached, or AIM roles being taken over, access keys being grabbed. That problem in particular gets exacerbated in the cloud, and trying to solve it is one that I hear quite often when I'm talking to customers. And so there's all sorts of different pain points, all sorts of different things people are trying to solve. That one in particular is definitely an area of interest that people like Sysdig and others are trying to solve. You'll find many, many different solutions out there. The main thing to do is to try to just keep a good policy across your environment, across your user accounts, across what they can access. Try to work by those privileges of least privileged, and just deal with stuff in a runtime context to know when things change or when stuff happens across your environment.